Okay, let's get ourselves set up for our restorative practice. So remember, restorative practice is all about relaxing and finding quietness. So it's really useful to, if you can, to set your room up in such a way that feels nice and warm. If you can kind of minimize daylight, then it helps you to relax. So you have a blanket on top of your normal mat. It really just a way of kind of replicating bed. So if you can just make yourself kind of as comfortable as you possibly can, that's always a really good way to set up for your restorative practice. So get a blanket for your head and have a bolster underneath your knees, and then if you've got them, a couple of blocks for underneath your feet. Just helps you to quieten your legs. If you've got a belt handy, we might use that later, and also if you've got an eye pillow or something just to cover your eyes with, that also helps. Just a little pressure on your eyes just helps to kind of really release. Take your glasses off if you're wearing them, just to allow your face to relax, and have a blanket to cover yourself over with as well. So just get yourself into position, have the bolster underneath your knees, have the blanket underneath your head, and then just spend a moment just to enjoy the sudden bliss of laying down. So perhaps all day you have been on the move, perhaps you've been working all day, perhaps you've been doing lots of mental challenging things or physically challenging things. Maybe you've just been a bit bored, a bit tired and exhausted. So now we give ourselves permission to relax. Don't be in a rush to find your kind of final position, as it were. Just allow yourself to just luxuriate in the joy of laying on the floor, just feeling suddenly how good that feels in your back. Let go of the muscles of the arms, unhook the muscles of the arms so that the arms become heavy. Unhook the muscles of the legs so that you hold no tension. Give yourself permission to be here. Give yourself permission to relax. We often feel a little guilty about having time solely for ourselves. But time to yourself is essential for decompression, for relaxation. Allow yourself to just release into the floor. Feel as though the body subtly spreads onto the floor, like melting butter in the sun. Allow yourself to melt into the floor. Soften your jaw and your tongue and your throat. Soften around the forehead. Soften the eyes in your sockets. And release in your inner ear. Allow your brain cells to move from the front of the brain down towards the base of the skull, down to the heart area. Begin to observe your breath. Observe the rising and the falling of the chest as you inhale and exhale. Observe the expansion of the diaphragm with the in-breath. Observe the expansion of the abdomen with the in-breath. Mentally scan the body for areas of tension. And push your out breath into any areas of stress or tension. Feel that your energy spreads into the fingertips, spreads into the toes, like a beam of light that shines into the limbs. As you inhale, acknowledge that the in-breath is your commune with the universal energy that surrounds you. Just allow yourself to observe the lightness of the body. Observe the lightness of the body. Invite that lightness into the toes and the fingers and into the top of the head. Observe how the physical body becomes indistinct from the floor, full of light energy, energetic power that surges through the limbs. Just relax the feet and shins. Relax the kneecaps. So as we progress into our practice, I'll speak less and less so that you can focus on relaxation, and rejuvenation. Just enjoying the silence and the lack of demand on you or your time or your effort or your body. Just releasing into the floor with the sole focus. When you're ready to gently disturb yourself, just wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, and then bend your knees. Just rest your feet on the bolster, have the knees together, the feet apart. Just observe the subtle changes in your spine from the floor. And then gently roll over onto your right side and then sit yourself up. Come into a comfortable cross legs for a moment. Just observe how your body feels different just from simply laying down for a little while. Okay, so we're going to do a spinal lengthening pose. This is really lovely and energizing. So get your blanket and then unfold your blanket so that you've got this kind of long kind of quarter fold. Bring it along the floor and then fold it down the middle. Try and get it accurate if you can, and then fold it down the middle again. If you've got a bit of kind of chunky hemming on the blanket, have it at the head end, not at your seated end, because that's more uncomfortable. So just have the you've got this little kind of bolster for your back. So we're going to keep with the bolster for our knees. You don't need it for your feet, the blocks for your feet though. So you're going to sit on your bolster again. So you're going to sit on the floor with your knees underneath, with the bolster underneath your knees. I'll get the words out in a minute. Don't sit right on top of the blanket at this stage. You're just going to lift your chest to come down onto the floor, lengthening your spine along the the blanket, and then get hold of the blanket and then roll it up so you create a little cushion for your head. So you need to decide first of all whether or not this is comfortable. So perhaps you've sat too kind of close to the coccyx on the blanket. Maybe you've not sat far enough onto it. So just adjust until it feels comfortable. So with the rolled up blanket for your head, you've got a little cushion just supporting your head, and then just experiment with where to put the bolster underneath your knees. So it's nice to just have the bolster, I think, at the backs of the knees on the calf muscles, because that gives you this feeling and sensation of length in the spine. Just experiment a few times. Sometimes you put it into the backs of your thighs, then it's a different feeling. But in the backs of the knees, more like in the calf area, that is when you get this feeling of elongation of the spine, as though the back is being stretched. So again, just release, just let go, and just focus on inhalations and exhalations. So this is nice for an achy back. If the blanket isn't comfortable for your back, then just adjust it. Maybe you need to fold it differently, maybe not as many times. So there's nothing to gain from just suffering in discomfort. Make sure that you're comfortable at all times in restorative yoga. So just let the neck relax. Release tension from the neck and the shoulder muscles. Let the legs completely relax. Again, to just find that lightness from within. You're ready to disturb yourself. Just wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers again, and then bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster, and then just gently roll yourself off the lift, and then come back up into cross legs. Just again, just sitting cross legs, just observe how the body feels different. So from our gentle practice comes quite profound changes in our energy. So we can do our supported side stretch. So if you've got an oblong bolster, that's really, really good for this. If you haven't got an oblong bolster, then just unfold your blanket a little so that it's just this kind of long strip, and then just fold it down the middle, and then fold it down the middle again. And then that's pretty much the same density and height as the oblong bolster. Tubular bolster is usually a bit too hard for this unless your one has got some give. So have the blanket or the bolster in this, so it's in this area of your chest, and you'll want a block for your head as well. So either the bolster or just come down onto the side, your knees stay bent, you stretch out so that this armpit chest region is on the bolster or on the folded blanket. Bring the shoulder down onto the floor, and then have your head supported by a brick. So just find that initial position. Keep the shoulder that's on the floor, keep it down on the floor, and then just stretch your top arm over your ear. If it's too stiff, if it's too strong for your shoulders, then you can just put a block underneath the upper hand. Otherwise, just feel that fairly intense stretch at the upper ribs, and then just let the top arm rest and let yourself release into the floor. Try and breathe evenly into both lungs, especially the side that feels like it's constricted slightly by the blanket or the bolster. This pose is really good for relieving stiff shoulders and a stiff neck. So if you do have stiff shoulders, most of the work is really just allowing this upper arm to relax. And that doesn't necessarily come straight away. So just use a block for your hand if it doesn't reach. Just allow yourself to release into the floor. So this pose is deeply restful. It helps to release your energy. Just bring your top arm just back to rest on your side. Push yourself up into a seated position. Just come into cross legs. Just observe the difference in the two sides of the torso. And then keep all your equipment where it is. Just come over onto the other side, onto the other hip. Lengthen the chest along the bolster, bringing that shoulder down onto the floor. Keep your knees bent, have the block for your head, and then rest the upper arm over your ear. And then just allow the body to just let go and release. And then just bring the top arm back onto your side, and then just push your elbow into the floor and come up into a seated position. Just come into cross legs, just lift and open the chest, observing the length of the side ribs. And then just get your bolster for your back, just for a heart pose. Get the blanket, just fold it in a kind of just a little pillow. So we're just gonna lay back on the bolster, just cover yourself up if you're cold. Just let your legs stretch out, lay yourself right down the bolster, and then just let the legs release, just let the legs go. You might need to come in and out a couple of times just to find your correct level of comfort. And then just allow yourself to gently release. So the shoulders feel open. Collarbone region feels open and broad. Diaphragm helps the the bolster helps the diaphragm region to broaden and open. Just draw your attention into your body, into your breath, into your heart region. Listen to your breath. Just become conscious of the rise and the fall of your breath. Keeping your awareness on yourself. Happy. Bring an image of the face of a person that you love very much into your mind's eye. And bestow upon them the good blessings that you gave to yourself. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free. Now draw into your mind's eye somebody who you don't know as intimately. Could just be a neighbour or someone that you're not as familiar with. And grant them the same goodwill. Holding them in your heart. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free. And then bestow the same goodwill and blessings to everyone and everything on the planet. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free. Willingly sharing the compassion and the love in your heart with all beings. And then bring your attention back into your heart area, back into the physical body, observing the feeling of the ground beneath you, the bolster, blanket underneath your head. And then just very gently wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, just bring yourself back into this pose of a heart pose. And then sit yourself up. Just come back up into cross-leg position. Your hands in the masti. Just draw your breath in through your nose down into your abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your gentle practice. And although the practice is gentle, the energy that comes as a result of the practice is profound. Gently draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then very gently release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. And as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So hopefully you feel as though you have just really given yourself some relaxation and you've completely restored your energy. So thank you very much for joining me.